Okay, here we are back on the third video of me trying to get these welds to look as good as I think I can make them. And one thing that I want you guys to think about is, because I'm getting a lot of, random suggestions, people just kind of maybe guessing or maybe throwing out things that may or may not be, related to the issue. And I appreciate all the comments, but the one thing that, you have to, when people say things like, well, you need to make sure, that your metal is all clean, or you need to make sure you chamfer it, or you need to make sure that, you don't cross-contaminate anything or whatever. And I realize that those are all best practices. I'm not going to say that I always do those. I try to do them the best I can. And I'm not even going to say on this that I've done that. Now, I know for a fact I didn't clean this stuff. I just, what I did was I have this, Scotch-Brite wheel set up here, and I was just using that to kind of, just brighten up the metal a little bit, get any surface oxidation off of it. Now, if you think I need to actually use a grinder and go around and just grind, on the edge of it a little bit just to kind of get really bright metal, then I can certainly do that. I am using acetone to clean it, and I'm getting some stuff off of it, as you might expect. So this is 304 and this is 308L filler material. So I just wanted to point that out and give you a little bit more information about the setup I'm using here. The welder, this is an Eastwood TIG 200. A lot of people ask me about this. I've had this welder for a long, probably 3 years. And the very, very first TIG welds I ever did were actually on this welder, and those videos are up on YouTube. And as far as the settings, you can see I've got the I got the pre-flow on 1 second, which is all the way up, and I had the post flows on 6 seconds. So I'm gonna make that 8. I'm gonna just put it on 8 seconds. I thought it was longer than that, and that's it. I mean, there's not a lot of settings here. This is basically the AC balance, and this is your amperage if you're using a thumb control. And right here is just a button that you have AC and DC, and you have a button switch here that you switch between foot pedal control and thumb control. So the foot pedal on this welder has the amperage control built into it, and this is where I was using it, this whole time. And you can see it's, the knob there is between the 80 and the 100, and I was going about 3/4 pedal, somewhere in that range. And a lot of people were saying that it looked too hot, but I mean, I could try to turn it down more than that. And again, I'm using the foot pedal, and what I'm doing is getting it hot enough to where I can see it start to form the puddle, and then once I see the puddle going, I just start moving forward. Now, I can't call out too many people by name, because I'm getting a lot of comments from people that are some that I don't recognize, that you've probably been watching my videos, I just haven't heard from you before, and you have some expertise in this area, so you're chiming in. Sorry, I can't remember those. Somebody last night linked a video to one of Jody's videos, which I had seen before, but I'd forgotten about it. It's a really good video on welding stainless on an outside corner joint. And so in general, I didn't really see much in that video, like as far as his settings or anything that stood out to me. And again, the thing I keep coming back to is, my inside joints are good. It's just the outside that is getting that, sort of oxidized look to it. So if it was a metal prep cleaning issue, you would think it would be affecting it all the way around. It's definitely a shielding gas / heat related issue. It's got to be. So anyway, I got this one I'm going to weld in there, and then I've got 2 more pieces here that are cut. I'm going to work on these here a little bit, and I'll show you some of that on video. And I'm going to show you, a lot of these I fast forward. I'm going to show you the real-time speed on a couple of them at least, so you can kind of see what I'm doing there. And I can't mess around with this anymore. I got to get this figured out and get it welded today. I got all my cutting done. I got all my 200 something holes drilled in stainless. I got everything ready to go, and I need to weld it now and keep moving forward with this project. So let's jump on it and see what we got. So I just put a brand new coarse Scotch-Brite in my grinder, and I'm going to go around and just hit it with this, and that way there's no cross-contamination, and we're getting a little bit more of a bright surface to work with. All right, I mentioned this in the other video, and people got confused by it. I have the welder set now on 200 amps to get some fusion tax on it. And then once we get the fusion tax on it, I'm going to turn it back down to about 100 amps and then use the foot pedal to dial it in from there. But one of the consistent themes was that, you know, you need to, in general, use less heat. And if you need to travel slower, then that's fine too. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to, you know, not be in a hurry about the weld and use, you know, the least amount of heat that I can get it to. I mean, one person said that, you know, you need to light up, and even if it takes you 3 seconds to form the puddle, you know, use a heat setting that will take 3 seconds, you know, to form the puddle, you know, and that you're building the heat slowly and not, you know, ramping in fast. So I don't know. Anyway, let me get going here. I'm going to get these tacked, and then I'll change the welder, put the welder settings back down on 100 amps, and we'll go from there. All right, well, you saw me fumbling around there trying to get that in a good position where I could weld it. And I'm actually pretty happy with that. A little bit crooked to start with right there, but as far as like the oxidation, you know, I mean, if you compare it to that one, you know, see how it's sort of grayed over, and that one looks good to me. So let me do some more. And I'm going to put that big cup back on there one last time just to see if that makes any difference at all. All right, let's look at that one real quick. This one I tried to go with as little heat as possible, and you can see that the bead is a little more stacked up, maybe looking, you know, and a little less penetration. Kind of messed up at the end down there. So to me, that looks like it's not hot enough. You know, I don't know what you guys think, but even though you can see the heat affected zone is kind of out there a little bit, it looks like it's not penetrated. You know, it looks like the bead's just sort of sitting up on top and not really wetted in there too much. But as far as oxidation, it looks pretty good. It's not grayed over. It's not as bright as some of those inside ones. So let me do this other joint over here, and we'll see what we can get. Wow. All right, I think I'm done. I think one of the things that I've discovered here is maybe a calibration issue with this foot pedal. This is a new foot pedal. The other one had gone out. Eastwood sent me another one for it. Out of warranty, by the way, and they sent it to me for free, so shout out to Eastwood. But if you notice on this one here, it's got a little bit more of that goldish sort of look to it. It sort of goes gold to blue. Looks like maybe it was getting hotter there toward the end. I should have been backing off. You know, that outside joint there looks pretty good also. And then here's one with a lot of heat in it. It's definitely heat related and shielding related. It seems like the shielding helps overcome heat issues, and maybe it's, you know, maybe it helps not so much the inside corner. There's more for the heat to run to, I guess. You know, I don't know. Anyway, but here's where I had to end up setting this. And that last weld that you just saw me do right there was on 50 amps, and the pedal was about 3/4 of the way up. So anyway, guys, I know this is a really long video, lots and lots of practicing. I think I'm ready to get going on this. And it's got to be what it's going to be, you know. And but I really appreciate all your help. I had a couple guys say that they enjoyed this type of video, you know, where we were sort of all practicing and learning together. Mostly me doing the learning, you guys doing the giving me tips. So and I'm sure there's a lot of people watching along that may have learned something from it. But if you are just watching this and haven't seen the other two videos, check the playlist right there in the center of the screen and click on that, and it'll give you a playlist of the other two videos where we sort of did a progression through trying to get this going. So all right, guys, appreciate it.